it's me, Renee. I'm back. And yes, as you can see from the title, this is another new tag. Yes, I suppose I could just subtitle my channel the original tag, original tag channel because I do love those, but I love tags, so yeah. Who's gonna stop me? The tag police? No, they don't exist. So yeah, this tag, it's not really, as you can see, well, you might have guessed from the title, it's not really Halloween specific exactly, so I suppose this could have gone up in September or November, but I kind of wanted to post it today. I say today because I don't know exactly when it's going to be posted, but it's going to be posted, I think it's going to be posted like next week, or maybe 2 weeks, like around, like it's going to be posted in October anyway, and yeah. And that's enough for the intro. As you can see, this is the That's Not Disney book tag. So in I have this theory. I don't know if it's just me, but like at least for me, my childhood, like a lot of people talk about their childhood being like very affected by Disney. And yeah, I saw some Disney movies. Yeah, I did. Like a lot of them, I can't really remember when I saw them the first time, and I wasn't like it wasn't like I watched Disney movies every week all the time. And like when I think about when I was young, okay, I'm not old now. When I was younger, when I was a kid, when I think back to that time, I don't really remember going to that many Disney movies in cinemas. Which I suppose, I mean, when I was born in '92. Yes, aging myself. So and so of course there were some Disney movies were in the '90s that I probably saw. I think yeah, actually I saw Tarzan in the movies. I do remember seeing that in new movies. I remember being into Hercules, but I don't remember seeing it in the cinema. But I saw it anyway. So yeah, I mean Disney was there, but like for me, Disney wasn't like end all and be all. The end all and be all were these movies that I'm gonna talk about when I get to them with the tag. So yeah, this is it's a tag based on movies from my childhood or my childhood. Some of them came out before I was born, but like they're movies that are part of my childhood in some way or another. And they're also all movies that people like when people talk about them, I'm like, oh yeah, that Disney movie. I'm like, no, it's not a Disney movie. So it's movies that people take. Yeah, I have nail polish on my hands. That people kind of what's the word again? That people mistake for Disney movies. Some of them might kind of think like, oh, that's a silly Disney movie in like a way like this is kind of Disney light. Like people, some of them people don't really like if they're not fans of them. But someone like, oh yes, that's kind of like the Disney quality. That has to be a Disney movie. And yeah, it's not. I mean, none of the movies on this list is Disney movie. And well, I suppose none of them were a Disney movie. Now, because of the Fox purchase and what hullabaloo some of them are, and I suppose that might also give you already a little hint on what movies I want to talk about. But yeah, and yeah, that's kind of intro number two. But yeah, also give a moment. Sorry, some things. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, yeah, intro number two done. Let's get to the books and the questions. Prompts. Prompts. Is there a prompt when it's not read fun but a tag? Anyway, yeah. Anyway, here. So the first one is Snow White Ever After. Now, like a lot of these movies I'm going to talk about, I feel like I hear people talk about sometimes like, oh yeah, that movie. Oh yeah, that's a hidden gem from my childhood. This one, I very rarely hear people talk about it. Like even like I suppose after one of the good aspects of internet is that like you can Google stuff and you can often find stuff from a childhood that when like back in the day you had to go to different archives and stuff, but now you can just Google this and this retelling from this and this year, and then you probably find it, or you can Google images and all whatnot. But yeah, this movie I still kind of feel like it's not like that well known, or I suppose it's not that well loved. I don't know, but people don't really talk about. But for me, for one, it was one of the few movies we had. Yes, in my in my town, in my home, home. In my home, we didn't really have that many movies. Like we weren't one of those families who bought new movies every day and every week. And my parents, they weren't that into movies. So like I think from like I suppose like when I got older, like when I got 10, 12, I started buying movies myself. Like when I was young, like under 10, I didn't really have that many had much money in to use. So yeah, I didn't really buy movies. And yeah, like when I was young, we had like 5 movies. I think we had yeah, just around 5 movies. Of course, they were old kids movies because I have sisters. My parents weren't that in movies. Like if they wanted to see a movie, they would see what's on TV. But yeah, this movie was one of them. Snow White Ever After. It came out in 1988. In case you don't know what it is, and it's kind of talks about like what happens after Snow White, like after the kiss with Prince Charming. And in this one, Prince Charming, spoiler alert, but it happens very beginning, and it's a 30-year-old movie. So yeah. Anyway, in this one, Prince Charming gets cursed, and Snow White has to find him and rescue him. And yeah, it's a very nice movie. I watched it all the time. Yeah, I watched it quite a lot when I was a kid. But also, okay, so what I'm gonna get into like from this prompt, because I'm not gonna do like just kind of like a book for every movie. No, it's gonna be a bit more like that, and also a bit more deeper than that. And also through this tag, I suppose you're gonna get to know me a bit more because I'm gonna be telling anecdotes as I just did. But yeah, one scene in that movie, Snow White Ever After, the villains are kind of hanging about in their castle, singing and dancing, and kind of, I suppose, in a way, mucking about, like just kind of looking evil and stuff. I suppose you can't really, I suppose, well, you could don't, I mean, singing and dancing you often associate with like happy singing and dancing, but villains can do that as well. In this one, it's not like the villains themselves are singing, but the background music, it's I want to dance with somebody. No, it's not. It's one of those 80s songs. I think it's that one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one. I can double check it, but I'm pretty sure it's that one. And so, like, normally I want to dance with somebody. That's a fun, upbeat, catchy song. But to me, because I associated with this movie from like I was 6 till I was like maybe 16, I think, I got scared every time I heard this song. So, yeah. The prompt here is mention a book that made something innocent scared for you, like that made you scared of something innocent. So it could be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Honestly, as I often do with me creating tags for myself, I couldn't really find a book that has done that. Well, I found it in a way, but it doesn't really qualify. So yeah, for this one, I'm leaving it open. For myself, my answers myself, but I still kind of want to have it in there because maybe you have some fun answers for this one. And also, yeah, because I just kind of want to talk about this movie and my experience with it. Yeah, it is a movie I do recommend. I suppose when you kind of see you see how it's not the newest movie because you see that the technology, but it's still a good movie in itself. And yeah, but yeah, I'm not answering here unless I discover a good book. Then I can write it in the description when I post this. But at this time, I don't know answer for this one. Sorry. I mean, I should have answers for my own tags, but I don't all the time. Yeah. And then we have, give me one moment, there. So the next prompt, or next movie is a bit more familiar. It is Quest for Camelot, the Magic Sword. So this one came out, I think maybe also came out 88, maybe 87, 89. I think it came out around that time. And sorry. And it's also one of those movies where, like, as a kid, but I suppose I think a lot of people like at my age kind of experience this. But like sometimes I would be watching a movie well, we're watching TV, and a movie would come on, and I'm like, oh, this looks cool, and I would watch like 10 minutes, half an hour of it, and then uh suddenly my parents said, "No, no, we have to go." So I couldn't watch the whole movie. So I kind of only seen the middle part or like the first half an hour or something of it. And then I went away and I couldn't really. And then yeah, I went away to whatever we were doing. And then I remembered the movie, but I just remembered slightly. So I mean, and also like I was young, so I couldn't. I mean, you didn't have Google. Well, I suppose yes, Google. I suppose yes, Google has existed since 1990. I'm pretty sure. I would say like Google, it hasn't really been normal since like 2002, 2001, 2000, like early 2000s. So like for me, I don't really feel like Google existed before that time, though of course it did, but like it wasn't common before that. Like well, I suppose it was coming in like 2006, but like yeah, 2004, 2003 it started becoming a bit more common. And yeah, so if you started watching a movie on TV, but yeah, you didn't really know the name of the movie because I mean, not you don't really always pay attention to the name of the movie, and like if you just watch it, you don't really know the name of it. And then the same movie a few years after, I would see a bit more in the movie, but I wouldn't see the whole movie. And I was like, that movie is good, but you have some reason you couldn't really you never watched the whole movie. And so I suppose this is kind of interesting because this is a movie it's part of my childhood in a way that I saw part of it in my childhood, but I didn't see the whole of it before I was 17. Actually, I'm sorry, 17. I was 16. But yeah, I saw the whole of it when I was 16, and yeah, I loved it so much. And I think I remember like part of it from when I was a kid. No, because I saw part of it when I was a kid. Like, was part of like, oh yeah, this is a new fun thing. Oh, that's how that like seeing a whole movie. I mean, it's kind of different, of course, than seeing part of a movie. And yeah, so I kind of understood the movie better. And yeah, I just now it's one of my favorite movies. Really, I haven't seen it in a few years now, but yeah, I really enjoy it. Also, the soundtrack to it, because there's a soundtrack to it, it's a musical movie. I suppose most of these are musicals. Yeah, they actually are. A lot of them, but yeah, most of them are. But yeah, anyway. So there's the song that's from this movie that's actually kind of very famous. That's done by Richard Marx, and people feel like, oh yeah, that song, it's so nice, and like it's kind of known outside the movie. And then if they see the movie, it's like, oh, is it from this movie? But yeah, I really like that song, but also like all the songs in this one. And yeah, but yeah, as you might have guessed, Quest for Camelot. It's a movie about King Arthur. It's a retelling of that story. So here, the prompt is simply to talk about favorite Arthur retelling that you love as a book. Again, I'm gonna have to decline because, well, okay, I actually have one book, anthology book that's King Arthur retellings, but I haven't started it yet. So yeah, but I like King Arthur retellings, but I think most of the ones that I really enjoy are movies, like King Arthur retellings in books. I suppose they're not uncommon, but I haven't read that many of them. And like the ones I have read, like I'm kind of like they were good at the time, but they're not that good now. So yeah, so no answer for that one either. But maybe you have an answer for it. Then the next prompt is The Swan Princess. This, I think, was my all-time favorite movie when I was a kid. Like, I loved it so much. I would watch it again and again and again. And yeah, I talked about this before, but yeah, I lived in Australia when I was 8, in 2001. And I got a friend there. She was Norwegian. She also loved this movie. She had a VH tape with her in Australia, so we watched it together again and again. And I just, yeah, I love that movie. It's a movie I've been rewatching. Yeah, kind of rewatch all through my life, really, in a way. And yeah, that one, I still love it so much. I also love the sequels. I mean, well, in the 90s there were 2 sequels, but now I think there's actually maybe 10, because they've kind of made more and more like direct to DVD sequels. So like now there's like, I think the latest one is like Swan Princess the Spy series or something. But yeah, like I grew up with the Swan Princess 1, 2, and 3. The one being like the one with like orange arms, and then the second one being the one with the female villain, and then third one, no, Okay, I don't really quite remember, but yeah, this is yeah, this is based mostly on the first original Swan Princess, and yeah. So in case you didn't know, Swan Princess, it's a fairy tale animation. I don't think it's Pixar. It's not Pixar. It's not DreamWorks, and it's not Fox. I'm not quite sure who made it because I think it's like one of their only like famous movies. Maybe it's Fox. It's Universal. I'm not quite sure. I'm not actually gonna check it out and write it for you. But yeah. But yeah. Anyway. So the Swan Princess. It's based on the Nutcracker, the ballet. But like in this one, it's kind of with songs and stuff instead of a ballet. But yeah, of course. So yeah, the Swan Princess, the princess who gets turned, she's cursed, she's turned into a swan uh, every day, and every night she gets turned back into a princess. So here, the prompt is simply uh, uh, sorry, blah, blah, blah. Book with a shapeshifter or a protagonist who's cursed. You could go either way here. Like that's up to you really. Here I actually have an answer. Huh, I have some answers. Not just a silly person, but I have some answers. So give me a moment. Now, the book I'm using here, it is a book I've talked about before. It's not a uncommon, it's not a completely new book. It is, so I might have guessed it. It is Invisibility by Andrew Kramer and David Leviathan. I just, I feel like every time I talk about something that's cursed, I feel like this is kind of the book to talk about because, I mean, it's kind of all about curses in a way. Like, it's very curse focused, even though it's I mean, sometimes when you read it, you kind of feel like, oh, this is just a little lovely contemporary book because it's set in New York City and it's kind of it has a very contemporary vibe to it. But then suddenly something magical happens, and yeah, I just feel like more people should read this. It's just amazing. I mean, yes, it will make you cry of sadness, but it will also make you cry of happiness. So it will give you all the feels. So yeah, that's that one. Yeah. Then let's move on to the next book prompt. So the next one is probably the most famous one, like that one everyone knows about, and then also everyone thinks like, oh, that's Disney. And then a lot of people like a lot of fans like, no, it's not Disney, though now it is. It is Anastasia, the Fox movie from '97 with Meg Ryan and John Cusack. You know that movie. And yeah, I loved it as a kid. I still love it today. I haven't watched it in a year or two, but yeah, I really, really love it. And yeah, it's a great movie. So here, simply the prompt is name a book uh, based on a historical period or person that you love, of course, that you love. It's not just a book that you love. So this could be both historical period or historical like acts, or it can be historical person. I mean, Anastasia, she was a historical person, uh, but like I mean, the story is also about like other things around that. So, like it's based on like the movie. It's based on they use France and London and Russia is real life places. So yeah, if you want to do a historical person, that's fine. If you want to do a historical event or like something set during the Second World War, that's fine as well. I'm gonna go for a book that you probably are not gonna uh, be much surprised from by. It is Things a Bright Girl Can Do by Sally Nichols. It's just amazing, amazing. More people should definitely read it. It's set during the Soviet period in England. I mean, often people think historical novels as being romances or them being set during the Second World War. Well, this is neither. Well, it has romance in it, but I would say like the main focus is kind of like right the struggle to get right to vote, the right to go to Oxford. One of the characters in this one wants to go to Oxford. There's like three main characters, four, but like three that are kind of narrators, and yeah, it's just an amazing read. People need to get on this. I look mean, but like, please get it. I mean, read it. Yes. Then we have yes. Uh, movie I've actually already talked about a bit, like my love for it. I actually have a book tag just based on this one, like this movie. It is, can you guess? The Road to El Dorado. I love it so much. I saw it for first time when I was a kid. I think it's like, yeah, it's actually another one of those movies that I saw for the first time just in bits, like a bit here, a bit there, and then I saw it the whole of it when I was like 17, like 18, 17, 18. But yeah, so I suppose in a way it's kind of more for my child, my adult, my for my teenagehood than my younghood because I didn't see all of it before then. But like, yeah, I've always had fun memories of it, and now it's my favorite movie ever. It's just, yeah, I watch a lot of movies, but I think nothing compares to this movie. Nothing. It's just amazing in every way. The characters, the story, the visuals, the songs, everything. It's just amazing. It's funny, it's sad, it's great. It's a great story. It has it all. It all. So here, same thing I'm going to talk about. The prompt is a book where friendships are in focus because The Road to El Dorado focuses on Miguel Tulio, best friends. And if you want to uh, be extra special, you can also use if you find a friendship where they have also con men, where there also are con men, use that. But the main thing is to find a book with friendship as a focus. So with this one, I'm going with Prudence by Gail Carriger. So this is the first one in the Custard Protocol series. And in this series, a bunch of friends go traveling around the world in dirigible, and yeah, I mean, there's romance as well, and there's adventure, yeah, but there's some in them. I think I would say like the main thing is kind of like the friendship between these characters. So yeah, definitely this, and then make new friends. So yeah, this series, if you want to a book with friendship focus, check out this series. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. And then we have gotten to the last prompt and book. Well, book. In my last movie, and then yeah, book. So this is Sinbad. It's a DreamWorks movie. Came out in 2005, 4, and I also actually like actually actually in a way similar to El Dorado. This is also supposed to be the first in a series, like of a franchise, but sadly people weren't that into it, so it was just this one movie. I think they talked about maybe doing like a spin-off TV series, but didn't happen. So here the prompt is simply a book that was supposed to have sequel but didn't, and you really kind of wish that they did have sequel. Sorry. So here I'm gonna go with talked about this one before, but it's just amazing. The Shambling Guide to New York City by Merle Lafferty. So this is the first one, and then there's the second one. And she has stated in interviews that she kind of she had an idea for like many books, but these two books weren't sold. Like they didn't really sell so much. So, I mean, if you don't sell a lot of a book, then why would you use your time to write more in it? Because I mean, even though you love the story, you have, I mean, even a great profession as author, you kind of need money. It's kind of, I mean, people always think like authors, oh, they're just kind of people who are lonely and get money all the time. Like, not every author get all the money from all the books. And I mean, even if it's just a nice job, you still need money from it. It still needs to be, yeah, prudent, and you still need, yeah, to be selling books. And yeah, sell it that this did not sell. In case you don't know what it is, it's kind of like it's been described as by a friend of mine as Buffy, but just like an adult. Maybe it's something as well. Yeah. Anyway, so it's set in New York City, so it's urban fantasy, and but it's not like she's the main character is kind of like trying to kill the monsters. She's kind of like living with them, and it's kind of like I would say in some way it's kind of a slice of life story, just kind of set in a urban fantasy world. And yeah, it's very enjoyable. I really like it. And yeah, sadly, it just didn't reach out to the people who wanted to read it. People didn't find it in time. I suppose, yeah, if you find it now, cool. But I suppose maybe can you like suddenly like because this came out in like 2010, can you like if this video makes everyone buy this book, do you think Muriel Lafferty would maybe write more? Maybe I don't know if there's like a time limit for when you write sequels or not, because some sequels do come out many years after. Anyway, anyway, yeah, that's this. So we do have this book and the second book, and they both it's not like the end like cliffhanger, but you do kind of like would love to see like more in this universe. And yeah, I mean Meryl Lefty is still writing, so that's very fun. So that's very fun, but she's not writing this series, sadly, sadly not. And yeah, so that's my little original tag with that's not a Disney movie book tag. And yeah, I hope people thought it was funny and enjoyable. And as usual, I'm just gonna say if you feel like this was a fun tag, tag your it. I'm not gonna really say like who I'm gonna tag, I'm just gonna tag everyone. Whole of booktube. So like if you really like one of these movies, then yeah, this is the tag for you. If you feel like it's a kind of fun little tag too, because I suppose like for me, yeah, I don't like it's kind of anecdotal, but I would say like yeah, it's kind of one of those tags where like it's kind of meant for like the booktuber to like talk a bit, elaborate a bit around the answer, because it's not just like find a book with this, find a book with that. It's like kind of well, I suppose yeah, some of them are kind of like find out well your favorite King Arthur retelling, but like then you can also like say like why it's your favorite King Arthur retelling and whatnot. And yeah, yeah. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.